and take a look here, of course, with a couple things. I do want to look also here at one other factor. Coming along here is the leaderboards. Leaderboards coming up today for the frost season, so you can see where you are, what's going on. Keep in mind one big thing, and that is a delay. So we'll get into the specifics on what we're looking at there. Lily, I am sorry, I can't tell you what's not working. I am definitely live on YouTube. Everything looks good there otherwise, and I am happy that if there's a delay, there's a delay, Lily. Australia is a long way from the States, and that's definitely what we're likely seeing. So, of course, with that last bit of things, with the delay, with the knowing that we're going from Australia to the United States and back again, I do want to put out. We have some issues with globalization, maybe with this sale, and I do want to get into that issue of globalization with the first frost drop. But otherwise, a little bit of intrigue here as well on the side of seeing these art projects as they evolve in Upland. We talk about the pricing, talk about the economics of scale on it, and of course, talk about why would anybody want to get into the burn here. That burn item is the biggest jewel in this contest. We'll get into that along the way. But before we get there, as I meander, let's get this stuff out of the way. All views and opinions expressed by myself or mine and mine alone should be taken as game strategy or financial advice that represent the game or the team of Upland. Any views of opinions of guests who do come on the show, they're theirs and theirs alone. Shouldn't be taken as game strategy advice, obviously. Shouldn't be taken as financial advice. They don't represent myself, the Goldsmith, the Cafe Net show, the team of Upland, or the game of Upland. Otherwise, anybody we do have questions, comments on. We are live on Discord. If you are on Discord, you should be able to hear my voice. Hello. I should be able to see you for comments in the Upland Cafe chat. Please feel free to use it. If you are on YouTube, I do also get the YouTube comments live throughout the show. If you're watching, look at that. Thank you, King Cody. Yeah, the beard is the beard. It's not shrinking just yet. It's that time of year that sometimes it takes a couple inches off, but right now it is exactly the way it is. Thank you, King Cody. But we are getting in here tonight. Everything's up and running, and of course, if you're on YouTube, I do see those comments, so feel free to comment live. And if you're watching record, feel free to send me a DM in the game of Upland, of course. Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. PT. We try to kick this off. Sometimes we get it going a little late. If you're on YouTube, you can obviously see that it is about 8 p.m. PT by the time we get started. But if you're watching record, you won't notice that, so don't worry about it. Let's just jump in. The big one for me to share and take a look at is, let's look at the announcement here for Monster Mayhem Madness. Unleash the Beast. I don't know. Let's take a look at the announcement. Let's take a look at the art. Let's take a look at what the actual draw here is, and then get into some thoughts for myself on this. And again, I do want to put a little bit of an asterisk up front. Is I do not begrudge Upland going and making money for Upland. It's part of what what continues and moves on the game. It's what makes it able, or makes Upland, the company, able to develop Upland, the game. If we didn't have Upland, the company putting out products, we would not have a game. We wouldn't have money in development. And of course, seeing USD be used, these being USD exclusive sales, I'm not overly surprised by that either at this point. That is how Upland makes money. They are not making a ton of money by selling Upex. They're making money by selling these limited sales, of which Upland is a creator, of which Upland takes the revenue. So I'm not surprised by that either. But let's take a look at what this sale looks like. I'll let you reserve a little bit of your own judgment, and I will give you a little bit of my own. And they might line up because a lot of the community has some of the same thoughts that I do. So the Monster Mayhem bundles include one Block Explorer, one map asset. Okay. They do have a cost. We'll get into that. Plus, if you are the proud owner of these new monstrous map assets, or one of the previous Tiny Monster map assets, and this is kind of fun. This was tying back to Halloween season this year. This was the first instance of AI generation, or realistically, totems were AI generated as well, or AI assisted. But this was something that Upland made a big deal about. Hey, these are AI generated. They talked a little bit about that. After the fact, they talked a little bit about the partner in making the AI art, or making the 2D to 3D model for the AI. Talked about how, in an article, how it accelerated their process in the project of art creation. So it was kind of a cool thing that they put the product out the way they did. Kind of talked about it a little bit, and they were happy with it because it was a model that they were going to repeat. Obviously, we're seeing them repeat it again and again, and they're repeating it with the same theory, the same monsters then, monsters now. Kind of interesting. Maybe there would have been something else more interesting. But what I do want to put here is this is utility that's being given back to something before the utility was there. And what I want to say essentially is there wasn't the opportunity for those map assets to serve as a gate, because we weren't really doing that. We were doing exchange of pass, get into a sale. We kind of started the idea of gating, own the right thing, and then you can be in this sale. We started that with the Stock Car Pro Series, but it wasn't broadly added to owning assets or owning a map asset. That wasn't something that existed. Now it's something we're coming for more for full circle with this gating. You own the right product, you can get in the sale. You don't own the product, too bad, so sad, buy it on secondary if you want to. So it is interesting that they are giving this utility back to something that originally didn't have that utility. I will take it. I will commend Upland for trying to have that pairing where they're taking and adding a feature to something that's similar, right? Monsters and monsters. I get the why Upland is kind of grouping these two together. Post purchase, the real magic begins when you decide to burn your cards. So, how are you going to get your card? You have to own one of the tiny monster map assets, or one of the monstrous map assets of the sale, and get into this limited sale. So you own an asset that you purchased. You now get a little ticket that says you're going to be at some position, some place in the order of a randomized limited sale, and you may or may not be able to mint it or purchase that sale, that bundle, because it may sell out before it gets to you. We've seen this happen time and time again. It may not be the case this time around. We'll have to see how the numbers, work out. Sometimes people get to buy two. It depends on the interest level for the individual sale and if the supply meets that demand. Pretty simple. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. Upland continues to titrate these things along the line. And of course, cost setting is part of that. And since I bring up cost setting, we're going to take a look at where I think the cost setting might actually sit. And of course, Upland's big point with this is the burn mechanic. You get yourself some of those cars. Again, you got to get lucky to do so. You got to go on secondary to buy another car. You're probably not going to get them all in the sale. It's probably not going to happen. And then you get the opportunity to burn. And the interesting thing about the burning, the sacrificing of your cards, is the reward is going from a cart to a truck. So from one type of vehicle to another. And kind of this opens up this theory, whether it gets repeated tomorrow, whether it gets repeated in 6 months, or whether it never gets repeated again. This theory of taking one type of vehicle, a number of them, burning them together, and getting a different type of vehicle that has enhanced utility. Again, a car or truck has a different level of utility in the game of Upland than a car. A car is for racing only, can't be used for any other type of transportation. A truck is a truck. A truck is a vehicle. A vehicle can do transportation of cargo or of bringing cargo with it. That is not a utility that exists yet. It is a future utility. Transportation, which we know is coming. Transportation between cities, which will not be extended to carts, of course, and obviously also being with racing. So it is interesting, the idea of transforming one type of vehicle to another. That's innovative. It's something I've seen coming a little bit. We've seen the forecasting that Upland's going to look at this transformative aspect of burning. They've already used that language. I was looking for them to do transformative assets with a utility layer, which, again, vehicles have that strong utility layer. So very much so. there's a lot of promotion here. Sacrificing your cards through the mystical flames reward you with something even more formidable. Upland's first ever monster truck. Someday. No, it's gonna be very shortly here and then over the next week. But yes, the monster truck. We'll see if that is a misnomer or not as we get into these images. Registration for the sale does start already. And the sale begins tomorrow, February 7th at 9 a.m. PT. More details. Let's take a look at all of those details. Monster Man. Again, Monster Truck Madness is kind of what we're working on here. And let's go literal. Look at those monsters. Look at those cards. That's what we're looking at. What's in the bundle? Like we said, one Block Explorer, one asset. And it is not so much a matter of, you got to collect to get the gating. It's the gating. You buy, you own, you get into the sale for the car. Obviously, that is one of the big reasons why you're going to buy these, because you want to get to that car sale. But pricing matters on these, and so does the individual art. And let's see what we're looking at. So we've got some Block Explorers here. They're Block Explorers. They're limited. They are limited in the graphic fidelity on the voxel, in the voxel style. They are what they are. We've got a total here of 9. And looking at those, again, kind of the interesting thing here, I've talked about it before, is Upwind's making a choice here. They had the opportunity. They've worked with some previous brands. They've talked about bringing brands into Upland and how that was a focus for a long period of time. And they've learned with these asset sales that they can come up with their own brand pretty quickly. And monster trucks, they can come up with their own brand pretty quickly, and they can develop art around that brand. And it doesn't have to be something that is something that people recognize the brand. They can recognize the theory, the familiarity with the overall concept. Again, monster trucks is pretty well out there, as are general archetypal monsters. So pretty easy to pop those into. So that's what we're seeing here. These are kind of the, I'm going to be polite and say the generic version of some more specific monsters that exist elsewhere in the world. They're Upland's renderings and Upland's interpretation, with the aid and with the guidance, of course, of AI, because we've been talking about Upland's tie-in with AI, and they've had some pride with working with AI with some of this art, so they can do it more quickly. And then we see this kind of come over into the map asset side, and this is the one thing I want to put out here, is the Pumpkin Man, the Frankenstein, the Ghost. If we go back to the little monsters back around Halloween, these are the same images, or some of the same images that came from that original set. What they have done is, for the map assets, they have gone and modified a little bit. They put them on a little spring, but overall the model design looks very, very, very similar. It lost its feet. Looks to be they lost their feet. They're no longer freestanding, but the face, the modeling, the texturing looks very, very similar, except for that spring and that base, of course. So I like to point that out and call out what is it in as it is right here. And then obviously these monsters that we're looking at, blue and on purple, or purple ears, purple hair on a blue background body. 3 different iterations, 3 different versions there. They threw some silly names at them. Boogle Walk, Noodle Fang, Grumble Guts. Great. New products Upland came up on their own with the assistance of AI, of course. And let's take a look at the pricing, and we can go back into this here and look at the specifics. And of course, you got to look backward before you can look front. Here's what the tiny monsters look like in game. The tiny monsters already exist. So if you're already a proud owner of one of these new monstrous map assets, or you're already the owner, a previous owner of the tiny monsters map assets from earlier as well, you're going to get that opportunity, that exclusive ticket into the Mayan Carts sale. Here's these carts. Again, there's 6 tiny carts. There's 3 that are inspired by this specific Monster Mayhem, and there's 3 that actually carry over with some of the designs from the Tiny Monster map assets from the fall. The carryover doesn't bother me too much. That they are using the same art or same art inspiration, because again, it's kind of one theme into the other. If you do look at the Ghost, the Frankenstein, the Pumpkin, you will see that they actually look different on the cart than they do on the originals from the fall. So there's nothing too crazy, too much of a concern there. At least for me, it is a new product. It is just recycling the art type. But I'm not sure I'm super enthused by the art. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinions. And it's until we get into the price that we start to, or at least for me, that we start to see this. The one thing that was really interesting about this announcement, and we're all looking at it together, those who are on Discord, those who may not be looking at it, open up the announcement. Feel free to jump in there and follow along. But if you are on YouTube, we're looking at it together. And we're going to scroll down again. All right. And I'm going to scroll up. And what we see is there's no pricing. We see the pricing when we go look at the registration in the game of Upland. Of course, that's there. That's as you register, you see what the price is. So we'll take a look at that together. But I think that was an interesting thing that was omitted, because when we look at that price, I will have some very strong thoughts about what you're paying and what you're getting. Keep in mind, historically, previously, when you used to get a Block Explorer, you would buy a certain amount of UPX and you get a sweetener. That is a USD purchase. A USD purchase for something very clear. You're buying UPX. Upland is giving you a sweetener, which is why you happen to be buying it at that time. A lot of people who bought the UPX plus sweetener wouldn't have bought UPX straight up. They wouldn't have bought it just for the UPX, but they bought it because they were getting this Block Explorer as well. In this case, you're paying USD for a Block Explorer and for a map asset. You're not getting the UPX as a reward or as an actual exchange. So you are buying this map asset, and that's when pricing starts to matter, or starts to question where that pricing lies and what you're getting for it. Exclusive sale for the cards, of course. That cart sale is going to happen. Stop Shop has to happen Monday. So if you're going to buy over the weekend or through the next several days on the secondary, buy, hold on to, be ready for. To ensure that your spot in the exclusive sale, be sure that you have your map assets for the snapshot for Monday the 12th between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. PT. We've learned on these things. Get it early. Hold on to it. Don't move it. Don't sell it. Don't trade it during that window. You don't want to miss it. All qualified holders will have access to the Mayhem cart sale, where speed meets style, the monstrous of manners. Okay, wonderful. Ignite the transformation. The mayhem doesn't end at the sale. Post sale, the real magic begins again. That's what this idea of the cart burn sale. We're not getting prices in this. This is an announcement without pricing. I don't like it. I wish it was in there. I wish it was in one place. I wish I didn't have to look at 3 different places to see it. For those daring enough to burn not 1 but 2 but 3 carts, again, that's what you cost. You could buy 3 carts, you get 3 carts, you get them all on the secondary, you burn them all, and you get this MV motor monster truck and tiny monster truck. Again, the beast of the vehicle is not just a means of transportation. It's a statement. It's a testament to your dedication, your prowess in the world of Upland. The monster truck and the tiny monster truck, reason why they're doing that is because obviously the names from Upland. We have the Monster Mayhem, we have the Tiny Monsters. 2 separate how calm IPs, 2 separate IPs, 2 separate brands that Upland kind of created around these 2 separate projects, these 2 separate art groupings. Burn combo, burn 1 of each. Again, this is one of those things that you don't burn 3 of one variety. You got to burn 1 of each. You burn 1 of this little guy, 1 of that little guy, 1 of that little guy. Again, 3 different designs. I think they look very similar. That blue skin and then purple hair, but burn 3 of those, you get the Monsters Mayhem monster truck. You burn the 3 representatives of, again, the cards designed to go along with the Tiny Monsters art series. You burn 3 of those. you do get the Tiny Monsters truck, and they have to be different, of course. It can't be burning the same one. Ready, Set, Mayhem. This Monster Mayhem bundle sale is more than just event. It's a gateway into unparalleled excitement and adventure in Upland. Whether you're a collector, racer, or enthusiast of all things monstrous, this is your chance to unleash the beast within and dominate the virtual realm. Again, on these announcements, I like to see dates. I like to see prices. I like to see more information to tell us what's going to happen when. We know when the snapshot's going to be. On the details here, we don't see when that sale's going to be. So we are going to have to keep that in mind. But the snapshot's going to happen next Monday, the 12th, between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Getting into the specifics of when that cart sale is going to be, that's obviously going to be something we're going to wait to see, but I expect it to be in the following week or next week, I should say. So let's take a look back into our game of Upland. Give me half a second so I can get logged in. As I'm doing so, the quick vamp here is with this sale, of course, it is happening tomorrow. It was not in the announcement, but it is definitely worth knowing what the cost is going to be. And of course, it's USD only. Put this idea out up front. Upland makes its revenue at this point by selling assets. They're selling assets direct to the community, and those assets that Upland's putting out are their property. They don't have a partnership. It's not a brand that exists in the market. It's something that Upland's coming up with to sell. And it says a no. Moving forward, this is not my cup of tea. This particular art set. I'm not saying that it's not somebody else's. It just feels like this is a product for the sake of product. This is a product for the sake of a burn. The burn is being done so you can get this car, this MV Motors car. It's an MV Motors car, so it has all of the utilities of a truck. You're moving from a gated sale, which is you own this item to get into the sale. Then you go from the gated sale into a burn dynamic. You're burning those carts to transform into something that's very different from what those carts are. Still a vehicle, different utility, different use case. I like the mechanics there. There's a couple mechanics that are working together. I like that Upland has iterated this. They started, they started a little bit here with this, with this process of going forward and making sure one thing works, and now they're tying it all together. I get it. I like it. I just want to see the art there for future reference, at least for me. Something that I want to see, something that I like, something that's fun, and something that looks like it's there to be here in Upland as a piece of art that people want to own. But again, the burn dynamic is gonna be one of the big sellers here. Look at my pop-up. NFLPA replicas update. Again, we're getting into the big game 2024. NFLPA replicas for division round games have been delivered. If you earn them, congratulations. You got your replicas, the top 10 of each of the teams. And of course, get ready for the big game. Burn window is going to start just right up here on the corner. Going through the weekend again, cutting off on Saturday. Game is on Sunday. But the winners will be winners before we have the winners of the big game for 2024. San Francisco versus Kansas City. Pretty exciting. And that's about what we need to say about that for the replicas. We've gone over them before. Let's just make sure we know what the date, what the window to participate is going to be here. Participation date on the big game, the 8th until the 10th. So that is going to be this week. It's going to be this Thursday into Saturday. Closes at 9 a.m. PT on Saturday. That's when you have to burn. And it's just a leaderboard. We've gone into this before. Leaderboard based on how many you've burnt of each team. Done deal. Pretty simple. If you got more details, you want to get more details, go back to this thing. A lot of us have already read a few times in the show. We've gone over a few times. The replica challenge, of course, pretty easy to get to take a closer look at. But I do want to get in and look up in the Get Upix store. Specials. Monster Mayhem. Yes, I have already registered. Does that mean I'm going to purchase? More than likely, But I do want to look at the pricing. $23.99. Okay, if I want to open this bundle up, let's see what we're actually getting in this bundle. The Monstrous Mayhem contains a unique mix of 2 Monster Mayhem NFTs, including 1 Block Explorer, 1 map asset. Again, as we said, Block Explorers historically had been a sweetener. You're getting Epics, you're getting the sweetener. We have had assets, we've had map assets sold directly in USD. Okay. $24. That puts a $12 value. Again, you can say the Block Explorer is worth more than the map asset. You can say the map asset is worth more. Whatever, however you want to scale it. But $12 a piece is what we're looking at for price pointing here. At $12 a piece, does that sit on something that there are 300 total of divided by the variations? Does that sit right along with it? Probably on the market, on the secondary value. But yeah, again, about $12 is what we're going to be looking at in the Block Explorer. $12 is what we're going to be looking at cost on this. And again, I look at this for many people, as this being a gate pass, this being your opportunity to get into that cart sale, because that cart sale is more appealing to a lot of people, and the burn mechanism finally to get that truck is more appealing, or very appealing to people. So that is again, that is in a nutshell what I think this sale is about. Is the getting into that limited sale for the carts, doing the burn. And I would love people to say, hey, these are the most beautiful pieces of art that I've seen in my life. They make my heart weak. They make me swoon. They are something that makes me excited about Upland. If that's the case, that's the case. If that's something that you're actually in a position of, I just want to say that my position on this sale is this looks like it's a mechanics forward sale. I will probably participate from a mechanics forward standpoint. I honestly would love that truck with a beefed up suspension, but without monster truck tires. Again, that's me telling you I don't necessarily think that's a monster truck, but I see the lift kit. I see that it's way up there. It's kind of cool. I do like the wrap. I like that the Upland took the branding that Upland created this branding. All credit to Upland and the AI they used. But I like that wrapping's incorporated on the vehicle. I like that the lift kit's in there. That's differentiated look on the truck. I haven't seen the stats on that yet. We can go take a look, I'm sure, at MV Motors and see these things getting manufactured and seeing what their driving stats are. But I think it's really cool that we're going to have these, and maybe we'll have differentiated racetracks at some point, and maybe a mud track they're going to do better on than a traditional truck, or obviously better than a Series 1, which isn't going to do well in that mud. So I'm excited about that burn. I have to pay $24 to get that gated entry to get in, or go in the secondary market and potentially buy a map asset of the Little Monsters from this fall, which may or may not be be a economical option. And of course, if you already got them, hold on to them. You have the opportunity to use this as gating to get into the cart sale. Pretty easy, pretty simple. And again, right around the corner tomorrow, we'll see that sale. 360 of these total available, $24 a piece, $23.99 USD. And that's our only buy option for these. We don't have a date on when that cart sale is going to be, but I expect it to be sometime next week. Pretty simple. Let's set that aside. With one last dose of opinion on this. I look forward to Upland continuing to build their own projects as far as IP. Not having to have brand partners come in and Upland licensing all the time. I say more power to. What I would like to see is I'd like to feel that I have a connection with the art, and I'm not always going to connect to the art, whatever Upland comes up with. I'm not always going to say this is my cup of tea. I just feel like a lot of people felt that this was not their cup of tea. Just where I'm standing, just where I'm coming from, that I think that seems to be the case here across the board. But again, the burn mechanic is interesting to me. I like that we have a little bit of full circle here. I'm sure we're going to have more of these sales in the future where you're doing 3 different tasks that kind of sugar down, boil down to the ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal is to procure and have that truck in your possession. The other thing I did want to put out here again, I've said it before, I said it earlier today, I'll say it one more time, and that is this is the way in which Upland, or one of the ways in which Upland is going to make the primary amount of their revenue is they're going to have these limited sales, and people are going to have a reason why they're going to do limited sales. Great stuff here. Don't forget to smash the like. Okay, well, thank you so much, High Park Ninjas. Again, you know, getting to this idea that this is a project that Upland's going to repeat and repeat and repeat, or similar function. I like the art to stand alone as well, if we can do that. But I can see that it's kind of the gamification route here a little bit, because it is a form of gamification. You're buying for a chance, and you're rolling the dice, and ultimately we could say that gambling is a type of gaming, and you are kind of playing a game when you're taking a chance. It's one that you don't always control, but you can put a little bit of optics in this and do this. You could do your own strategies and buy it in optics on the secondary market. It's definitely possible. There are ways for people to again, make sure that they register, buy as soon as they can. Maybe they get a second purchase on the card sale. It is possible, and it is something that we may see happen. And this strategy is a part of a game. I want to put the last piece, the last thing to be said is, you didn't tell me how much the carts are going to cost. We're looking at it one more time. You didn't tell me how much the carts are going to cost in the cart sale, but I'm spending $24 for the privilege of getting to the cart sale without knowing what the cost is for the carts. The carts are $6,782. Then I paid for a privilege for a sale that I have no reason or no willingness or no capability to be a part of. I would have liked to have that information up front. I hope it was just a little bit of an oversight. I think it was. I don't think it was a matter of getting people to commit to a sale that they're not going to be ready or in a position to actually take part in. But I do want to put out that it does make it a lot easier when all the details are in one place and easier to follow for people. That's it. That's it on this one. Let's take a look at what we did get overall. Oh, I like that, God. I like the mudding. I like the little bit of a suspension. And yeah, get in and do a mud racetrack instead of on the asphalt. I think it's a good idea. I think it would be a little fun to see this racing coming to the game of Upland, and maybe that's exactly what they're pulling. That's what they're bringing. They're bringing the potential of dirt tracks coming in with this, and I'm not against it, of course. Thank you, God, for dropping in the into Discord. If you're in the Discord, to take a look at that announcement right from the link right to the announcements. DTech, I see it. I see your structure. I get it. It's the scaling. Good luck, bud. Definitely take a look. Please make UGC buildings grow. Yeah, you need a little bit of a miracle grow, a little bit of water, a little bit of love, a little bit of sunshine, and maybe Upland can help stretch those structures that were intended to be a little larger. A little bit of an inside there, but of course, DTech, I'm sorry that your buildings are as small as they are, and good luck, and maybe they grow. Maybe they have a chance to grow a little bit here. Thank you, Blue, putting in that pricing. Look at right there. That sale tomorrow again, right there. Very clear what's going on. But what's not there is obviously the cart sale. Of course, would have loved to see that, of course. And yes, DTech, I know that if you go over into Upland UGC as the channel, in Discord, you're going to see plenty of DTech talking about the specifics of why scaling doesn't always work on the UGC side. The Frost Pass today drops. Do want to take a look at that. I think we can graphically look at this a little bit and we can see it. So if we take a look at the drops earlier today, that would have been over in live updates, I believe. There it is. And if I go up and I take a look, this fun little video, I'm sure audio is not. And he's got a little bit of Stranger Things, esque soundtrack in the background. Go figure. AI is alive. But take a look. Football is not a heck of a lot to do with frost season. I understand that the big game, the end of the NFL season does commence this week. We're kind of in that mode. People are already putting their orders in for chicken wings for Sunday, but uh, Upland's made the point already. Upland's made the point that 70% of the players of the game of Upland, of the overall accounts, are outside of the United States. Taking something that's very centric to the United States for one day of the year, even though NFLPA continues to be a partnership with the Upland, I don't know if it's short sighted. I don't know if it's targeted to a specific set of customers to try to keep them happy, or if it was just, hey, we're going to do football this week. Next week, you'll get your snowflakes. I know you want them bad, and your snowflakes and your ice cubes and everything else that goes along with ending out the winter. I would like maybe take some earmuffs, put them on the on that little groundhog, on little Punxsutawney Phil, and let him have his due, because he said that winter's just about to end. I will give him that. Groundhog Day last Friday on the 2nd. I'm glad I'm not gonna have to wait another 6 weeks of this winter. But give me something that ties into the season of the year. We're calling it frost, so I think we tie into the temperature. I think we tie into the end of winter. I think we play on that idea of ice crystals and the light blue and the white, white of the ice. I think that's what we play with as an overall motif. Uplands kind of showed this idea. If you look at the past, you see this ice crystal in the shape of a snowflake that is projected on a dark blue background. That idea, or that methodology, that color, that scheming, I thought that's what we were gonna get. I thought that's what we're gonna get a lot of. Not footballs on a frame. And then we'll go over a little bit again. If you were watching on YouTube, you would have seen what that video looks like a little bit. There is a video, obviously, for the drops to give you the animation, because it is key. It's good to watch it in a video, because what these frame animations ended up being, as some people had hypothesized, I had discussed it, on the show a couple times. People had also, said that makes sense. Is Upland was doing a frame modification, a frame of your profile and of your Block Explorer as a weapon. It is interesting that it is done animated, so I'd like that. That is kind of fun, but they're all football themed. A couple of them are a little bit distracting to happen in front of my Block Explorer as it floats around, but ultimately, I put my frame on because I paid for the pass. I burnt the pass. I did all that so I could have these drops. This is the first one. It's not the last one. There will be continued to be other ones, and maybe some more frost themes in the ones to follow. Fingers crossed. But again, and the other thing that I'd like to say is it actually works. The animation works. It looks good, looks smooth animation. But just the choice of what's there for animation is that maybe not my cup of tea again. It may be somebody's. Maybe somebody says, yes, it is the week running up to the big game. I want to celebrate football. And I will tell you that I will be watching the game. I will tell you that I've collected a decent amount of NFLPA legits and mementos over the time. I will tell you I'm going to continue to watch, NFLPA and Upland continue to grow and see where it goes. I'm going to tell you that I'm really happy to have a signed Bobby Wagner football in my house right now, courtesy of Upland. That all set aside, I wanted a snowflake. I wanted some icicles. I wanted something in that realm of things, and it's that simple. The delivery went well. Everyone got their things. The snapshot happened as it was supposed to. The animations that came through worked. Just choices on the art, I think, is where my mind is at on that. And gamified earnings. We've been talking about it. We've been looking at it. Upland gave us the kind of capstone here, or at least the icing on the cake to take us on to the next step and really using these gamified earnings. I already have a leaderboard that I can go and take a look at. On that leaderboard, I can see where I set. I will tell you that it is lagging quite a bit behind. So it is actually where I set as of yesterday, or as of so many hours ago. But I can go and put my name in. Capitalization matters here. I can see only one. I've got to do some more here. Only one. So I won 2 races. I've participated in 5. I got 1. So I come back over here. Well, this scaling here is a little funky. Get me all the way over, please, please, please. If I were to get all the way over, I was able to get all the way over earlier today. The scaling here is a little different here now that I'm in a different browser. But I could go over and see that I've got, yes, I've completed 1. If I was scaled all the way over, I would see, here it is right here. If it was scaled properly all the way over and it was easy enough for me to use, I would see that I had exactly 1 completed. And because I have 1 completed, I do have a modifications on my earning. My modifications for earning is going to put me, finally, now that I got it, I had to get all the way over. Scaling was funky on Edge, but 5.88%, I already have that applied to my earnings again for next month, not this month, or next season, not this season. So I can already see I've earned that modifier. If I get a couple more checked off, which I'm going to get a couple more checked off on my way to 5, you will see that step up each step along the way. I'm definitely not going to be less than 5. That's not a question. I'm definitely going to go collect my 5 standard treasure chests. Haven't done it yet. I am definitely going to go and do the 7-day in a row, the 25-day in a row login. That's not a question. I'm going to be 7 days in a row as of tomorrow, so that'll get checked tomorrow. The current multiplier, again, the multiplier level is 1. The 5.88% is what I'm going to get as the earnings for next month, or the annual rate for my earnings as of next month. And otherwise, I am going to continue on for my 5th one, in addition to the consecutive logins, in addition to the racing. I'm probably going to, in addition to the treasure hunt, I'm probably going to knock off the collections. I'm going to go mint some more properties. I'm going to be doing a number of things over this next month and a half. So I'm not worried about it for myself, but it's really nice that I can see how far along the way I am. And I can even have some assistance in doing that calculation, that 5.88% as opposed to the 4.9. I like that's there and it's up and it's running. It's just lagging. It is many, 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 many hours behind. Upland said that they're going to set this up like missions in the future. So next month, next season, you'll likely be looking at missions that you check off. And as you check off those missions, you will see your score change. I'm excited about that. We've had a few things to say. I had a few things to say yesterday as far as where this gamification lies. The fact that we continue to have rewards for those who continue to be active members of the community. More power to it. I think that I look at it as a net benefit as opposed to why are you taking away my earnings if I do nothing? I think that it's easy enough, at least for this month. Keep in mind, next season, the rewards challenges, the challenges you have to do may change, but at least for this first season, they're easy to obtain. I'm not worried about getting to my 14.7. I don't think I'm going to check all the 15 off, but they're there. I can do it. If I do it, I'll get a little bit of bonus for doing so. So of course, keeping that up. Some things kicking off here. Look at all these things jumping in about people looking forward to the next couple of things in Upland. Tan, see you looking forward to Paris launch, of course. Holding on to cross your fingers. This idea of Olympics 2024, Summer Olympics 2024. We've kind of seen that. My current block explorer right now is Olympics 2020. It was this weird thing, they actually happened in 2021. It was a little funky, so it feels like it just happened. But I was actually in Upland when 2020 happened, even though I wasn't in Upland 4 years ago. Things worked out. Things worked out with COVID Olympics. But yes, this idea that Upland did celebrate the Olympics 2020, kind of had this theme over. It wasn't an official partnership, but they did kind of celebrate that. So it is possible. It is possible that they kind of celebrated in a similar way, and maybe they want to have the city of Paris because of it. Maybe. It is not the craziest thing I've ever heard in the world, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but again, looking at what's next in the game of Upwind is always exciting and always fun. And of course, having the ability to go and mint some properties and compete some collections, that's going to get you along the way or a long way towards finishing out your season gamification, season goals or missions, if you want to call them that, towards getting your increased for next season earnings. So looking forward to that. Glad this leaderboard's here. I'm looking forward to becoming missions in the future, just so it's easier for people to interact with, just so that it's in the game of Upwind. You don't have to go to a table somewhere and type your name and wait for that to pop up. Easy enough for me, easy enough for a lot of people. We want to make it as easy as possible for as many people as possible. And of course, with that, I do want to put a couple more things out that we're looking forward to in the next week. You do have to watch your announcements. I will continue to do it here in the cafe. Continue to do it on YouTube. If we see in a future show, keep your ears open. I'll let you know about that cart series, or where that cart sale is going to happen, when that burn event's going to happen. I was a little bit distressed, or I'm not going to send up the alarm bells, but I wish we had some dates here. It makes it easier for me to make my decisions on what I want to do with purchases when I know what the burn dates are, or when I know what the sale dates are. Be honest with you, I'm going to be gone a couple days here and a couple days there over the next couple of weeks. I hope that everything lines up. I hope that it's not one of those days I'm working 16 hours, because if I'm working a crazy schedule, it makes it really hard for me to be in part of these sales, and knowing what's next makes it easier for make decisions for today. So that out of the way, that being a little bit of a disappointment on my side, I will let you know as soon as we know more on the future of these sales. We are about to finish. It is official. I'm very excited about it. We are about to come to the end of the first cycle of totems. People are having some of their totems finish out. If you've lost a couple cycles because you didn't get all the fiends, and if you started right on the first, very, very beginning of your totems, you could be coming right to the end. I started a couple days late, so I have a couple days left on that front, as opposed to just 1.5. If you burnt through a couple cycles because you earned a couple penalties, you may already be done. Not necessarily dead totems like happened to some people, but just it finishes a cycle. You got to your last cycle because you lost your last couple cycles due to penalties, and congratulations, you made the profits you've made along the way. I'm still seeing that almost every totem that I can see that's out there right now that people are collecting on and continuing to feed, the profits are centered so that we are still making profits at the end of the month. I had the discussion, I talked about it a little bit, this concept of it's very backweighted for where the profits are. I get it. I understand it. If you earn penalties throughout the month, it does affect you during the period of time, or does the effect does accumulate towards the end of the month where the profits are the biggest. Clear, obvious, very much the case. But that does mean we still have an incentive to continue to finish the month out strong, because that's where a lot of our benefits are. I even saw some of these wave functions that do one of these things. They took a long time to come up, and when they came to a peak, they came down some, and now they're coming back up again in a lot of them. And that means you keep going. You keep going to the very end of the month, take as much profit as you're going to get. You go, that was fun, and get ready for the next cycle. I can tell you personally on my side, I am just about at the point where I'm happy with the rewards. I got to a certain point of the month, maybe a week and a half in, where I said, I can do this in my life without waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, without setting alarms, where I'm going to get a good enough payout. And the payout wasn't significantly affected by me sleeping those extra 4 hours. But I'm getting and thank you, Jaded, for dropping those images. Obviously, that's not the end of the month there. So that the graphing, at the very end of the month, I did see some of these, start to come back up on some of these wave functions as opposed to continue to drop. With those wave functions, coming back up at the end, keep doing it. I was worried they were going to go into the loss column, and they weren't. So you're not taking a loss at the end of the month. you continue to make a profit on just about everything. The cheetahs, the ones that are low, the hockey stick, you're really starting to see those profits come in at the very end of the month here, of course. But very much so, do see that these profits, tell you to keep going until the end. And again, on my side, I was able to come to terms with it. I was able to, you don't have to miss sleep cycles. You can continue to participate. You know how long your cycle is. You got to feed once inside of each cycle. As long as you're doing that, you're going to be making a profit. And to me, there's enough of a profit that it's worth doing. A few 100,000 UPX for me, with 7 totems, I'll end up with a few 100,000 UPX worth of protum, as far as I'm concerned, with the math and the way Upland allocated how much protum they gave us per totem owned and the cost thereof. That's kind of the way it seems to sugar out. I will take that, that a couple thousand protum and be happy that the experiment worked. We have a cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4, cycle 5. We'll find out when cycle 2 starts. We have the potential for things to change up a little bit next time or the time following. But again, I was okay with this first cycle. I think we as a community worked well together to get the data put together. I think because this infrastructure has been built, even if Upland changes, and I think they will, changes the way some of the things work from cycle 1 to cycle 2, the community will have solutions relatively quickly. It makes it a lot easier. I get that part of the gamification on the Upland side is they didn't give us all the details. I'm glad we as a community came together in a couple different iterations. There are different tools that were created by different people who pull data and accumulate data, who was able to put out things to help people. So I'm glad that all happened. And I think that cycle 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be that much easier because people already have that foundation of those tools. And know your favorite tool, work with those people, thank the people who do the work. Some of the people have ways of getting compensated. And if it's worth it to you and valuable to you, you can always go reach out to those people and to see if there's a little tippy, or see if there's a way that there's, whatever to partner with or work with or reward people for the effort they put in. So thank you, everybody who's put together those tools, and looking forward to finishing out Totem strong for this first cycle, moving into the future ones. That's me saying that this is not as crazy as it could have been. But part of that is giving yourself the permission to not get up at 4:13 in the morning for the exact feed time. Instead, get up at 6:30 when your alarm would otherwise go off. So long as you're not missing a feed cycle, it's not the end of the world that you fed it an hour and a half late inside of a feed cycle that, again, might give you a 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours of room, with giving you a significant penalty for waiting a little bit. But otherwise, let's keep on. Let's keep going. This sale here is just a future iteration, or just something that's going to continue to build towards this burn mechanism. We know Upland loves it. They're going to keep using it. We're going to keep seeing these sales. And I'm going to say something that I don't always say, and that is, you can't always participate in everything. I've said that, in other iterations, we're talking about treasure hunting and this city and that city back to back, and you can't bring 500,000 OPEX into every single city. Maybe there's one you skip, and maybe you have 2 options at once you go into. It's kind of the way we're headed here with these sales from Upland. If you can't get into this one for one reason or another, you're going to get your tax refund. If you're in the States, your tax refund in the next few weeks. You want to take a portion of that and say, hey, I got a refund back. I want to be part of the next sale, but I wasn't able to participate in this one. There's hopefully going to be plenty to do in the game of Upland. I want to see all of these sales that Upland puts out be successful. I want people to enjoy them. I want people to move into the next one, but definitely give yourself the permission to say, if I can't make this one work, I can't make this one work. So with that, thank you everyone for being here. Jaded Priest puts out, totems still have 6 days to go. Some of them, depending on when they get started. Yours ones, I'm assuming you wait a couple days, so more power to you, seeing how things are going. Cheetah has some time to go. So yeah, again, it's going to keep skyrocketing towards the end. Needs to make 1,400 plus proton to catch up to the Panda. Yes, the Panda is one of these. So very much so, you see the Panda gives you that sweet spot, not at the end, Cheetah very much. Well, wow. Cheetah very much giving that profit right at the end, of course. So you do still have some time there to go, Jaded Priest, but you will see that profit here, of course, as long as you keep things up. Thank you again, everyone, for being here. Thanks for the time. And of course, as I always end things, if you're in Discord, feel free to open your mic to turn off the mute if you want to be part of the conversation. And the floor is yours. And again, thank you so much. See you again tomorrow, 7 p.m. PT here on YouTube, here on Discord.